Is it safe to talk about this? Oh, fuck it. It's never safe to talk about Pokemon. Never mind expressing your opinion about it, God. Anyway, hello friends, Casey here and welcome back to a new video. And today I'm going to be talking about my first thoughts and impressions about the upcoming Pokemon games, Scarlet and Violet. So since I'm sharing these thoughts, it seems to be mandatory to mention that this is just my opinion.
So just bear that in mind, okay?
And right off the bat, I have to say that I am quite skeptical about these games. So if you can't bear someone saying anything negative, or God forbid criticism about Pokemon, you should probably stop watching this video right this moment. You have been warned. So one of the biggest issues that I have with this game right now is what the player characters look like. It's their design that is just so unsettling. My initial thought when I saw them was that they really looked like those Zepeto or Talking Tom/Angela characters from those app games which are rumored to record you, which really puts me off. Especially the eyes look real creepy and way too realistic, which is what many people have said, that the characters look less stylized than before and more realistic. Sure, with each trailer they keep on improving,
But they still look kinda unpleasant.
and I wish they would some way have some unique features, cause right now they look really bland. Sure, the female player character has a somewhat distinctive hairstyle, but the male one literally looks just like an NPC you see on every route. And yes, I know they are meant to be school children in school uniforms, which don't have any accessories or unique features. But also, this ain't real life, Chief, it's a freaking video game. Isn't that one of the points of video games these days? That people use them to escape the struggles of real life because of their surrealism. Especially a game like Pokemon. We play as a 10-year-old kid who has been set loose to capture weird animal hybrids into balls across the world. Where is the realism in that? Also, the thing that makes characters memorable are their unique features. Every other Pokemon protagonist has those one way or another. For some examples, Chris's hair color, Brendan's beanie, which almost everyone thought to be his hair, Dawn's hat and pink boots, and Rosa's long pigtails and pastel-colored outfit. Maybe the game starts with the player character going to school, and then later they go on an adventure and swap their clothes or something. But so far it doesn't look like it. The trailers have shown us some new customizations, and there seem to be a lot more options than before, and some of them are quite nice. Especially the hair, but so far no new outfits have been revealed. Only some slightly alternative versions of the same old school uniform. So I guess we can throw that unique part out of the window. Cause as much as I do love a colorful hair, clothes are also a pretty distinctive part of a character. And personally, as someone who has had to use a school uniform before, it is not really something you'd love to wear outside of school. Don't know about anyone else, but that is just my experience. Bunch of new characters have also been revealed. A new rival sort of character called Nemona, who is friendly and nice and helpful and... How many times do we have to go through this? Really? Let's just hope that she'll actually be challenging, unlike some other rivals. And as for the two new professors, I just can't take that dude seriously. I mean, just look at him. Also, when they were revealed, people were being so horny for them. I had to bleach my eyes twice. Also, what happened to naming the professors after trees? Apparently their names come from the Spanish words for future, futuro, and past, pasada, for whatever reason. Then we have the old man of the region, and the love child of N and Volo. I swear to God, if either of these turn out to be a villain, Game Freak is completely out of ideas.
Speaking of villains, we have Team Star, who are the baddies of the school, so basically the Plastics and Team Gale combined. Well, in my heart, there is room for only one Team Star.
And now to our next destination, the starters. So we have the love child of Grookey and Zarude, Kirby Crocodile Enemy meets Among Us crewmate, and the lesser known brother of Donald Duck. While I poke fun at these starters, the designs are not actually that bad. The water starter looks a bit wonky, but other than that, they look okay. If I had to choose one now, I'd probably choose the grass starter, which is kinda telling since I have always started my first adventure in each region with a water starter. Can't really say much until their evolutions are revealed though. As for the other recently revealed Pokemon, Smoliv and Lechonk are babies. And Pawmi, well, is pretty much just this region's local Pikachu, which is gonna be forgotten. So, yeah. It also kinda looks like the love child of Pikachu and Teddy Ursa.
As for the others, well, there are nice ones. And some are a bit bizarre, for my taste at least.
As for the legendaries...
What?
They look like Digimons. Like... nothing more to say, really. Well, if I had to choose one, I'd choose Koraidon, cause... What even is Miraidon? What? They also seem to take place of the HM slaves, as you ride them as they run through the fields, fly, swim, climb the walls, you name it.
But with that, it seems that you get it pretty early in the game, and you have to keep it with you, as it seems to have a pre-evolution.
So it's probably gonna be very similar to as it was with Cubfu.
Jeez, Game Freak. The originality is uncanny. Also, I'm quite certain they spent half of their budget on this legendary reveal.
I am also curious to see how they are going to explain the existence of Hisuian forms in this new region, when they don't seem to be existing in the current Sinnoh. Speaking of the region, it is based on Spain and also possibly Portugal. And what we have seen so far, the region does look quite nice. Especially the version of Sagrada Familia looks quite nice. And it seems to be an open world game, which is nice. Although I have to say that it would be nicer if they focused more on making a smaller world look more graphically pleasing than just making a huge world with flimsy quality. Also, what is this weird mushroom Pokemon Center? It literally looks like driving McDonald's.
Which seems to be fitting as we work part-time in Subway with these high-quality sandwich ingredients. Cooking Mama is quaking.
As for the new gimmick of the game,
The designs seem pretty cool, but other than that it just
kind of feels like a love child of the previous gimmicks. So Mega Evolution, Z-Moves, and Dynamax.
as it adds an extra type like Mega Evolution did sometimes, and then a very special and fancy attack, and lastly the raid battle. So I'm just kind of wondering, what new are they bringing to the table, other than glitter and fancy hats?
One thing I wonder is why were they named Scarlet and Violet, and what made them go back into colors? Some say that the colors are meant to represent the flag of the Second Spanish Republic, with the red and the purplish colors in the titles, and the yellow in the outlines of the titles. But if they are named as such because they are based off of Spain, I wonder why wasn't Scarlet named Burgundy, since Spain's history is kinda entwined with the Duchy of Burgundy. And on top of that, a cadet branch of the House of Burgundy ruled Portugal from 1139 to 1383. And a different House of Burgundy, a cadet branch of the Italian House of Ivrea,
Ruled the kingdoms of Castile and Leon from 1126 to 1369.
which were early kingdoms in the Iberian Peninsula, which became part of Spain. That being said, please correct me if I get any of these wrong, because I am not an expert when it comes to Spanish history. I also don't know if burgundy would have been a proper color, since the flag's red is a lot lighter, if Google is correct. But then again, the color in the flag is not really violet either. It's a really dark purple or something. But what do I know of colors? Well, at least they finally got that trademarked Scarlet from over 10 years ago. Well, actually, 2 trademarks. And now, to my final point, and the biggest issue that I have with this, which is not specifically to Scarlet and Violet, but to Pokemon as a franchise. And it is the fact how fast this game is coming out. 3 mainline Pokemon games in the span of 1 year. I think that is a bit too hectic to say the least. And not to mention all the spin-off games that are being updated and the new ones that keep coming out every now and then. Before they had at least been a year before the release of a new mainline game. And yes, I know, there are multiple teams working on different projects, which in itself would be fine if they actually perfected their games. Since, at least to me, ever since X and Y, the games have just become sloppier and sloppier. And yes, there is no 100% perfect game. Every game has its issues. But these days, Pokemon just seems to have so many of them simply because they have clearly been rushed. Most of the games since X and Y have just been feeling really lacking in some way. Whether it be lore-wise, with unmemorable characters, or the plot is just all over the place, or gameplay-wise, where it just feels super simplified and isn't just enjoyable anymore. And I just want to make it clear that none of the older games are perfect. All of them have their own issues. But like I said, that my point being that the newer games are clearly being rushed. And now, there isn't much time to enjoy a single Pokemon game, since the next one is already coming out in a few months. I would have much more preferred if they spent this year focusing on Legends Arceus more, and maybe putting out some DLC, but it starts to seem more and more unlikely as time passes. Sure, DLC can still be released, but my point being that it is unlikely to be able to enjoy it thoroughly when there already is a new Pokemon game being released or already out. And it would most likely mean less profit for the company, since most people would be focusing on the new game and not bother buying DLC for an older game. I mean, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are technically still unfinished, and they're pushing a new generation out, like, what the heck? I would have much more preferred if Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl would have come out in January instead, when they could have released a fully finished product, and not an unfinished copy of the older games that gets forgotten in a few months. And Legends Arceus released in autumn this year, and Scarlet and Violet much later. If they just took their time and focused on perfecting their games, they would be much better received, cause honestly, people don't mind waiting for a bit longer if the wait is worth it. I just can't get it straight in my head why some companies just don't understand that. Just like with The Legend of Zelda, I'm super hyped for Tears of the Kingdom and can't wait for it to be released, but I know that they really want to perfect the game, as it has been postponed many times, and make it worth the wait and money. And honestly, isn't that what it's supposed to be? Something that people can enjoy to the fullest and not constantly be disappointed when a game from their beloved franchise is being rushed and ends up being a complete lackluster. That being said, I just want to say that there's nothing wrong with enjoying these games. It is just a fact that there are so many things that could be done so much more better. But for some reason, the Pokemon Company just feels it necessary to push out a new generation every 3 to 4 years, even though Pokemon games get more expanded and bigger over time, so people spend more time playing these games to fully complete them. And they can just get away with it. Cause no matter what, people will just keep buying their games, no matter the quality, since it's Pokemon, without asking any questions. Pokemon has just literally become the epitome of
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Hi, Posted It Casey here.
So the more I was making this video, the more I wanted to do literally anything else. But since I had already spent so much time with this, that there was just no going back. So that is also why this is published almost right before the release date. And I barely even scratched the surface, cause there is just so much stuff here that needs to be addressed. But I've pretty much given up on this game and this video, so yeah, no thanks. So I guess I'm just gonna die on this hill. Hooray! And since this has been kind of critical, I'd like to leave it on a more positive note. So the few things that I actually liked was the music. They really put in some piping tunes in the trailers. And then of course there's this. I mean, just look at it, it's so adorable. I need this in my life. I need this so much. And on that note, I say farewell. But before I go, I just want to say for those who think, if you hate it so much, then just don't buy it. And honestly, I'm not. Cause I just don't like the direction this series is heading to. I really do not want to spend 60 euros on a game that has worse quality than a game that can be bought for 15 euros. Also, this is gonna be the first and the last time I talk about these games, so there is no need to get your knickers in a knot. I hope you enjoyed this video and the game if you decide to give it a try. Also, I am going to Japan, like a day after this video has been published. So if you wanna see my shenanigans there, follow my Instagram. Okay, bye bye.